Now, what about materials in sport? Well, the sporting world has changed significantly in the past century, and one of the key examples of that is the Paralympics. The Paralympics were introduced after World War II to give war veterans a sporting event that they could participate in. No one actually managed to run the 100-metre sprint in the Paralympics until about 1952. In 1976, a double amputee ran the 100-metre sprint in 42.3 seconds. Absolutely amazing. I can't imagine how he must have felt. So I wonder how he'd feel now, knowing that a double amputee runs the 100-metre sprint in 10.91 seconds, just over a second slower than Usain Bolt, an Olympian. And it's not just in the Paralympics that things are changing. As you can see from the graph, over the past century, we've slowly been knocking 0.1 of a second off the time it takes to run the 100-metre sprint at the Olympics. In 2008, Usain Bolt ran the 100-metre sprint in 9.81 seconds. Last year, he ran it in 9.64 seconds. In 2012, he's hoping to run it in 9.5 seconds. And so the question has got to be, how is he doing it? And it's not just sprinters who are getting faster. Weightlifters are lifting more weight, canoeists are canoeing faster, jumpers are jumping further and higher. And so there really has to be this question, how are they doing it? Well, you could argue that it's the athlete's ability and dedication that's changed. Since 1981, fully professional athletes have been allowed to compete in the Olympic Games. So now those who get the decent sponsorship deals are able to dedicate every waking and sleeping moment of their lives to pushing their bodies to the limits. But as a scientist, I have to argue that it's actually the scientific advances in the past century that have played a more important role. Now, these can be broadly split into those of biomechanical engineering and materials science. Biomechanical engineering is that study of how we move our bodies and how we could move our bodies more efficiently in order to be faster. Maybe you don't lift your arm out of the water as far when you're swimming front crawl. Maybe you need to move your feet in a slightly different way when you're running the 100-metre sprint. It's quite complex, but it manages to shave 0.1 of the second off times. But as a materials scientist, I actually have to argue that materials science advances in the past century have played an even more significant role. Gone are the days where men ran around dirt tracks wearing plimsolls and baggy sports clothing. The Olympics are a material world. And so I present to you my 3 medal-winning materials.